I had to do this video because there are 3 things that you must have. We're talking no exceptions. You've got to have these 3 things in order to see any success at selling final expense over the phone. And what makes me kind of crazy is that most of the failed telesales agents that I speak with, that I converse with, don't even do or have one of the 3. Nada. And no, I am not even talking about working with like the wrong, insurance carrier or companies, or whether you're captive or independent or not. But before we get into it, this is when I'm going to ask to please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of the thank you note that all of our agents send out to their new clients, to everybody that they sell. And the idea, that way is that your new client actually gets something that's personalized, that's from you within just a couple of days of you making the sale, of them buying the insurance. The first must have, the first thing that you absolutely must have in order to be successful at final expense telesales is a way to build lots and lots of rapport with your prospects, with everyone that you speak with. And let me just add, that's assuming that you don't have 4 set appointments every hour, which, through our system, you can. But for the normal agent, who maybe they have 1 appointment per hour or even 2, the best way to build that rapport is through a presentation that guides you into multiple conversations with the prospect. And this is very important. These conversations are designed to get the prospect to maybe open up to you and start to lower that big security wall, that they have towards salespeople. We've all got that, right? And I've seen the presentations that are out there. I've seen what Senior Life and Lincoln Heritage agents are using. I see what your typical call centers are using. I see what those guys in, Missouri, the North Moon Company or whatever that is. I've seen theirs. And I just find that most of these presentations, they're just not good. You know what? It's not even that they're not good. The issue that I have with all of these presentations, at least most of them, is that they're so short and unrelatable that the agent is showing the pricing, to the prospect after 10 or 15 minutes into the presentations. Think about it, guys. Let's use some common sense here. How in the world is Joe client gonna trust you enough to hand over, their social security number and their checking account information after only speaking with you for 15 minutes? I mean, like I said, there is always going to be some low-hanging fruit, and maybe if you're working a system like, what some of our agents are doing, where you have 4 appointments per hour, well, okay, you're going to get more from that, but your typical client, it's just not going to work. You need a presentation that is going to help you to build a lot of rapport for at least, I want to say at least 30 minutes, before you give the client the prices. And that's exactly what my presentation does. Not the generic one that I offer to people that watch our channel, but the one that our field agents, or I should say telesales agents, use. The generic one that I give away it's still better than most of the stuff out there, but it's sorry guys, it's just not the same. However, it is better than most of the crappy presentations that are out there. Most of the stuff that I've seen. And if you shoot me an email, I'll gladly give you a copy of our generic telesales presentation. It's probably better than the one you're using right now. Again, it's not going to be as good as the one that our agents use, but it's a really good starting point. It is. Let's talk about leads. Without multiple daily conversations with people who have, I want to say, interest in purchasing final expense insurance, you're not going to sell enough insurance to come close to paying your bills. Most people buy these terrible leads with high expectations only to end up jumping from one lead vendor to another and feeling disappointment every time. Which is why you need to learn how to generate your own exclusive leads, and to me, the best way to do that is through Facebook. So you're not just generating your own leads, but you're actually generating appointments, because these people, these leads, they will set appointments on your calendar to speak with you. Before we get into generating high intent leads, and even better, a lead, where the client sets the appointment to speak with you on the calendar. And again, guys, they do this on their own. Let's talk about, well, the more typical, the more common leads that I see in the industry that most agents are using. Live transfers are very common. However, they really don't work very well, and I want to say this for a couple different reasons. First, you can usually only get like a few per day. And second, all they really are is a hyped up telemarketed lead. I mean, think about it. The telemarketer calls the prospect and asks them if it's okay to connect them to like a live insurance agent for a quote. And if the prospect says sure, then the telemarketer transfers the call directly to the live agent. These would work great if you could actually get like 20 a day. But again, you most likely won't even be able to get like a dozen per week from any vendor, legitimate or not. And I say that because, well, FYI, most of the offshore call centers are generating illegal and non-TCPA compliant leads. And if you don't know how to tell, how to find out if the call center is selling legal leads or not, then I highly recommend that you stay away from cheap offshore call center transfers and or leads. Like I said, they're just not going to work anyways unless you can get like 20 or 30 of them a day. For independent insurance agents, the best lead that you can get is that self-generated high intent Facebook lead. The one where the client actually sets the appointment up on your calendar and they expect a call from you. Buy a program from someone who can guarantee, that you can get at least, I want to say, a minimum of like 10 to 15 preset appointments per day, and just spend the money to get it done. Yes, I have someone who does this for my agents. It's actually cheap compared to others. Some companies are charging $10,000 plus to do this. My guy's currently doing it for under a few thousand. But once the system is running, you're able to change your ads, to the point to where not only you changing them around, but you're controlling everything that your prospects see, and even the forms that they're filling out. You can actually change the different questions. If you want to ask about height and weight, you can do that. If you want to leave that out, you can do that too. It's all about having control. When you run your own Facebook ads, you control what the clients are seeing. You control like what areas to target. You control all aspects of your leads, and now you never have to depend on someone else for leads ever again. No more going to lead vendors hoping that their lead's better than the last lead vendor. Not only that, but once you have the system set up for like $150 per day, you can have like 15 to even over 20 people sign up and schedule an appointment to speak with you about buying final expense life insurance like every single day. With this system, you're the boss. And again, for less than like $1,000 per week in lead cost, you're in a situation, you're positioned to write like 4, 5, 6,000 AP every single week. I want to say week in and week out. It really doesn't even take that much effort once you have the system up and running. There is one final thing that you're going to need, especially if you're either, I want to say like new to insurance sales, or even if you've got experience selling final expense face-to-face, but you're new to telesales. But either way, if you've never done final expense telesales, you absolutely have to have this. And that's someone who can actually mentor and train you. A really good mentor, and I consider myself to be in this category, will listen to your calls and help you make the necessary like voice inflection changes, and or like even just like help you say and do things in a better way. Most people think that they can figure this out on their own. They figure, oh, this is going to be easy, no problem. That's why most agents fail at telesales. I text and communicate with my field agents and my telesales agents sometimes multiple times per day, especially if they're new. And generally, if you're like a new telesales agent, I want to communicate with you like every morning before we even get things started, maybe to go over your recordings from the day before, see if we can get you to step up your game like immediately. Interesting enough, guys, some of the best field agents can't sell final expense over the phone because, what they do is they try to do basically the same thing, over the phone that they're doing face-to-face. Trust me, guys, the right way to make a face-to-face sales presentation doesn't even come close to working, when you're selling final expense over the phone. Not only that, but the products all have different niches, and some products are great for like belly-to-belly sales, but are horrible for telesales. Without the right direction, you're stuck on, you're kind of like stuck on your own deserted island with no help, just like struggling to survive. But with the right help, you can easily prosper in this business and literally make hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. 5 things that a good trainer/mentor will do is make sure you're using the presentation correctly, make sure that you have lots of leads and really appointments, if you're working a good system. They'll help you to make changes in your voice during specific times throughout the presentation. We call this proper voice inflection. Help you with field underwriting. I have agents that text me all day, like I said. Well, even when they're speaking with their clients, they text me for underwriting help. And most important, you got to help the agents keep connected. And that's what I really try to do. To me, the last thing that you want is to be doing this all on your own, to be alone with no support. It's nice to know that someone who has done this before and knows exactly how to deal with most issues has your back and is available for you. Someone that, can truly depend on, or I should say that you can really depend on, always depend on. For a copy of the thank you note that I mentioned earlier, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com for more information on selling final expense and or Medicare Advantage through us as a completely independent insurance agent. Just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there or get on that phone and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.